Today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to read your website the way a $10,000 buyer may read it. And I'm not going to read it as a copywriter. I'm not going to read it as a business owner, but I'm going to read it as someone who is ready to invest and is trying to decide if you're the right fit. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking as I read, and I want you to listen to this a little differently today, not as feedback, but as insight into what may be happening when someone lands on your site and then leaves. Welcome to Seven Figure Copy, the show where we refine your messaging so it reflects the level you're now operating at with clarity and confidence. I'm Gina Whitehouse, your expert conversion copywriter, and this podcast is for established, expert-led female business owners who know their work is exceptional but suspect their website and sales copy may be underselling the caliber of what they deliver. In each episode, we'll explore how strategic, ethical copy elevates your website, sales pages, and core messaging so your words communicate trust before someone ever books a consult or starts a conversation with you. If you're ready for a trusted partner who helps you clearly articulate what you do and why it matters, then you're in the right place. I'm so happy you've joined me today. My name is Gina Whitehouse. I'm the host of the Seven Figure Copy podcast, your expert conversion copywriter and messaging strategist. So if you're here today, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk to you as if I am the buyer, the one that lands on your sales page or your website's homepage, and I have money to spend. Okay. So if you're here, you're probably an established business owner, and I don't think I've ever done this before. So as you follow along, I'm going to be talking like I'm that person who's landed on your page, and then I'm going to kind of break from character and I'm going to tell you the reason why that person is thinking what they're thinking. All right, let's get into this. Okay, so I land on your homepage, and the first thing I see is a headline that's trying to be clever. Maybe it's a little cute, maybe it's a little catchy, but my first thought is, wait, what is this actually for? Because I don't understand what you do, and I don't know who this is for, and I don't see myself in it. There's also no subheadline that's helping me. It's not calling out who it's for, what problem this offer solves, or what outcome I can expect. So I'm pretty much left now looking at this page, trying to figure out what this is and if it's going to help me. Okay, so now I'm breaking out of character. I'm going to stop here for a second, and we're going to talk about, this is one of the fastest ways to lose a high-level buyer, okay? Because if your messaging is not clear right away, they're just not going to stay long enough to figure it out, right? We all have, 2 or 3 seconds, right? When we land on a webpage where we decide if we want to stay there and we want to keep reading. So we need things to be clear. And this is the most, I would say, the important part that as a business owner, right, that you don't see, right? You don't see someone hitting that page and then leaving, but this is the first thing they see. So if it's not telling them the problem that your business solves or what outcome they can get, or if this is even for them, then they are going to leave. Now I'm going to talk about the first impression, and I'm going back into character now. I am your buyer and I'm scanning the page. And I see a lot of bright colors, perhaps, or maybe I see a lot of emojis, or I see a lot of playful, or what I would call like girlfriend type language. My brain starts categorizing this immediately. It doesn't happen consciously, like I'm not thinking to myself, oh, what category is this? No, but it just happens. And I might start thinking, this is not for someone at my level. So breaking character here. What I want to tell you is what I just said. This is not a hard, fast rule. Okay. If your target audience loves bright colors, they have that kind of personality, or they're all into using the emojis and the language that you're speaking, that girlfriend language, that very casual language. If that's the person that you're trying to attract, then you are doing the right thing. But if it's not, then you're doing the wrong thing. So the important thing here is to take the time to actually understand how your target audience speaks, which I mean is what's their language? Think about the people who have bought from you already. How are they speaking? Even look at the testimonials they've given you. How are they writing things out? What were your interactions like with them, if let's say you're client based and you actually do a one-on-one kind of thing here, how are they speaking to you? What kind of phrases are they using? Are they using really catchy language or casual language? If so, then speak in that. But if not, then you need to really nail down how they speak and the language they use and use that on your website and in your copy. So now I'm reading more down the page and I see phrases that sound nice and they sound great and they might even sound very polished, but they don't say much. I see a lot of text and I'm thinking, oh gosh, do I have to read through all of this? Okay. And as I'm reading, I see a lot about maybe like general outcomes, very broad promises. And that's when I stop and I think, well, I've seen this before. Like nothing is special about this or nothing is pulling me in or jumping out off the page. Nothing here is helping me understand exactly what this is. I don't know how this is different from other products out there or offers. I don't know why this is built for someone like me, and I don't even know why I should care. So when your buyer starts to think about this, what's happening here is that the message isn't specific enough to feel real to them because at a certain level, right, your buyers are not looking for polished language. What they're looking for is something that feels true and relevant to them. They are looking for you to call out that exact problem they have, and they want you to explain why you have that unique solution. They've tried other things. They want to know why your thing, your offer is going to work. All right, I'm looking down the page now. I keep scrolling, and now I get to the part where you introduce yourself. And I'm thinking, okay, that's great. This person looks nice, but it's a lot about you and it's a lot about your story. And I keep thinking, okay, this is about their background, but I don't know why I should trust this person. I don't know why they are the person that I should be buying this from. I don't know why their story connects to the thing that they're selling, whether it's a service, a product, or an offer. There isn't a clear connection between the experience that you have and the result that I want. And if I haven't seen any testimonials yet, I might just be thinking, okay, this person's just talking a lot of fluff, just like everyone else. I want to see proof. Breaking character here. On your website homepage and on your sales page, you should definitely have what I call like a shortened about me section. This should not be as long as your actual about page. This needs to be very condensed. And I actually have a formula for this. If you go back to season 1, you'll see there's an episode that talks specifically about this. But your goal here is, yes, you want to share a little bit about your story, maybe 1 to 2 sentences, something that grabs their attention because now they see that you had a similar challenge as them or that you really understand what their challenge is. And then you're going to transition into why you are now considered the expert to help them. Also, you don't want to introduce yourself too early on even your homepage and your sales page, because first you need to show them that you actually understand the challenge that they are having and that your offer has a solution. And then you introduce yourself as the person who raises their hand and says, hello, I'm the one to help you. So go back and look at your homepage and go look back at your sales page. And if you're like in the first 3 sections of that page, you are introducing yourself way too soon. So I'm continuing to scroll down the page and I'm trying to understand what your business is about or what you offer. And here's the thing. I'm seeing multiple options, which just signals decision fatigue in my mind. I'm like, oh, I just really want to know if this person can help me. There's so many options here and I don't understand what each one is. I see lots of explanation and I see a lot of features. Like I see a lot of details of what I would get with working with this person or buying this product, but I don't understand how it's going to help me. I don't understand. It's like they're not tying it to the benefit or the outcome or the transformation I can have. So I immediately just start to think, okay, I don't know which one is for me. And this feels a lot. So I'm not sure what I'm actually getting. Now I'm breaking character and I want to say that this is a missed opportunity. And this is something that I see a lot, especially when people come to me for sales page audits, is they are very well meaning. They want to make sure that their potential buyer sees everything that they get when they purchase that offer. Okay, which is understandable, right? You want to show that you can give them so much value, and in that you're trying to persuade them to buy from you. What happens sometimes is that if you give too many options, or you give just a list of things, it feels like a lot, and they just don't automatically understand how it relates to them and how it's going to solve their problem. So this is what I tell everybody, this little inside tip is that if you're going to list out, okay, you get this and you get that, think in your mind, I'm not saying to write this, but think in your mind that you read that sentence and at the end you say, so that, and then you fill in the blank. Okay. So I'm trying to think of an example off the cuff here. Let's just say it's a general checklist PDF. You're going to get this checklist PDF so that you know when you launch your sales page, you have all the 13 sections you need to persuade a buyer to buy from you, right? So it's that idea that so that. You don't always have to write so that, but it's in your head, think so that, right? So you want to tell the benefit and the outcome, okay? Another thing that kind of goes along with this is sometimes we introduce the price too early. Sometimes it's just introduced like right there when you're making a list of all the things they're going to get without really being guided first through, okay, here it is. I understand what your problem is. This is what you want. This is what the outcome should be. So what I'm saying here is that sometimes this list of things matched with the price comes way too early in your sales copy in your website. And if you haven't shown that buyer yet that you understand their problem, then they're just going to, again, immediately leave. If you've ever thought, my business has evolved, but my website still feels pieced together, or my expertise is strong, but my messaging doesn't reflect the level I operate at, I want you to know right now that you're not alone. Every established business owner reaches this point where your growth just outpaces your message. And when your message doesn't match the offer or the service you provide now, it costs you credibility, clarity, and premium opportunities. So I'm here today to tell you that I want to help you go from second guessing how you're presenting your offers and expertise to showing up online with messaging that feels cohesive and aligned with the caliber of your work. Today, I'm inviting you to book a 30-minute complimentary copy chat with me to determine whether you need a strategic copy audit or high converting done for you copy that finally reflects the level you're operating at. Go to the show notes today to book your call or visit www.whitehousesm.com. So I just went through the 5 major things that someone is thinking that a $10,000 buyer, we'll call them the $10,000 premium buyer, is thinking as they hit your website's homepage or your sales page. But let me show you like the other side of this, okay? Because what they want to know is what they want to feel is that they are being led somewhere. It needs a structure. And that structure needs to first lead them through the problem, show them what it could be like when they get the solution and what's possible for them in the future after they use your offer, so that they can see, okay, I'm going to be here and I'm not going to be stuck in the place I am right now. So as they go down the page, you're going to subtly start answering those questions and things that are going through their mind. So there's a structure to this, and I can't go through it all in this episode, but you want them to think as they're coming down that page, okay, I really understand this. And you want them to either understand plainly that this is for them or that it's not for them. So when you step back and you look at all this, you start to see the gaps. You start to see where maybe your business has changed or evolved, where your services haven't been updated yet, where your offers have changed, but your messaging, it hasn't fully caught up to where it needs to be now for that premium buyer that you want to purchase from you. I would say that most websites, that they lose those high-level buyers because they really haven't taken the time to understand how their buyers actually think. And when I say that, I mean that you haven't taken the time to really understand their language, even the specific situations that they're in right now, and their real hesitations. And when that's missing, the copy on that page is going to feel disconnected to them. So you know my answer to this because I talk about it in every episode. is that it always goes back to the research, to go back and talk to your happy clients and customers and ask them, how did you feel before you worked with me? Or what struggles and challenges did you have 6 months before you bought my product? And how has it changed your life now or 6 months later? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? So as we end here, I want to give you a few things that I see that can actually work against you, especially with high-level buyers, okay? Not always, but often. Okay, so the first thing that I see is stacking a long list of testimonials at the bottom of a page, okay? So you might be someone who has like over 100 testimonials. They might be snapshots of DMs you've taken from social media or emails that have been sent to you, or transcripts of you speaking to your clients, whatever that is, okay? You may have a load of testimonials. What I want to caution you to do is to just like add a dumping area, like section on the bottom of your sales page or website for that. But instead, what I want you to do is to think curation, okay? Because when you don't curate the best testimonials out of those 100 that you have, it becomes overwhelming. It can become very repetitive, actually, and it's not very strategic when you're trying to lead someone to buy. So we want to curate those testimonials, and I want you to choose testimonials that really speak to specific objections or hesitations that you know your target audience has. Testimonials that reflect the level of client that you want to work with, okay? And that show a real transformation. So it's not actually about how many testimonials you have on the page, but it's about how you intentionally use them. Deal breaker number 2 is that you are just selling yourself first. And I've already touched on this a little bit, but if someone lands on your page and it says, "Hi, and you insert your name, like that's the first thing they see, you are now selling yourself first, and you're not explaining the problem that they have, the challenge that they have. And when you don't do that, then you're not showing them that you actually understand what they're going through. So let's save that "hi, insert your name" for a little bit lower down the page, okay? Because premium buyers, they want to understand your thinking. They want to understand what method you have, framework, any approach that you have, all right? And how that's going to solve the problem that they have. And then you're going to step in as the guide. All right, so this next one, I've touched on this again, but I feel like it's worth bringing up a second time, is deal breaker number 3 is bringing in the price too early, introducing the price before you've built enough context of, again, why they need what you have, showing them that you understand their needs, okay? So it's not that these $10,000 premium buyers are scared of pricing. They're not at all. They have the money to spend, but they need to understand what they're getting and what they are stepping into first. So we're not going to add pricing too early. This is really specifically something for a sales page. Usually you don't put pricing on a website homepage, depends on your business, but let's just talk specifically sales pages here. You need to answer objections and hesitations before they even get to see that price. Okay. Deal breaker 4, again, too much information. And this one is big. We've talked about it, listing everything, every module, every bonus, every detail. And yes, you want to show what someone is getting, but when it becomes too much, your premium buyer is going to start thinking, this looks like a lot. I know I've thought that myself. Do I have time for this? And is this going to be overwhelming? And again, take up too much of my time. Okay. So these premium buyers, they're not looking for more stuff. They're actually just looking for clarity and a clear path to the result that they want. So if everything is listed out in detail, it can sometimes make that offer feel too heavy than it needs to be. So instead of them thinking, oh, this is exactly what I need, it starts to feel to them like this might be too much for me right now. And this is important. You don't want them thinking this, okay? Because at this level, these people are not buying based on how much you include. Let me say that again. They're not buying based on how much you include. They're buying based on how clearly they see the result, how clearly they understand that you are going to give them a result. You're going to give them exactly what they need. So thanks for playing this little game with me today, walking through this as if I'm walking through your website or your sales page as a $10,000 premium buyer. I want to say that if you feel like this is hitting a little close to home, I want you to say that that's normal. Okay. When you're in your business, it's hard to see from the outside of it. So if you want a place to start, I'm going to recommend that you download my copy clarity checklist. You can get it in the show notes, or you can go to www.whitehousesm.com/caliber. And it's going to help you identify some areas where your messaging might be off. And if you want someone to actually look at it with you, you can book a 30-minute complimentary copy chat with me, and we can look at your page and I can let you know what would be the next step in your copy and how we can work together to fix where you are, whether you already have copy written or you don't, but I know most of you do. We'll walk through just what's going on right now, what challenge you're having, and then I can give you a recommendation on how to move forward. Thank you again for putting me in your ears today and listening. And I hope I brought so much value. If there's something that was like an aha moment for you, don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. All right. Have a great week. Thank you so much for spending time with me today on this episode of Seven Figure Copy. If this conversation resonated and you know that your messaging, that your copy is not matching the caliber of the wonderful work that you do, then please reach out to me at whitehousesm.com to book a 30-minute complimentary copy chat. Let's see if we're the right fit for each other and if I'm the right conversion copywriter for you. And I'll see you next time.
This podcast is produced, mixed, and edited by Cardinal Studio. For more information about how to start your own podcast, please visit www.cardinalstudio.co or email Mike at mike@cardinalstudio.co. You can also find the details in the show notes.